Happy almost Halloween. My screen doesn't look super clear to me. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Is that better? What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome to Contours and Conversations. I am your host, Taibeau. So excited to have you all here. And I see that Kenny JD has joined. Can I tell you, I am so excited about this conversation. Happy Halloween to you. I'm so excited about this conversation because I literally started following Kenny JD and checking out all of her. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to pin this so you know what you're tapped into. Checking out all of her YouTube videos, and I started binging. I am obsessed with how she can do her makeup, talk about films at the same time, and literally just be so hilariously funny. So let me bring in Kenny, and we'll get this show on the road. There you are. I see you in from Cuba. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much, Sammy. I appreciate that.
Oh, we're live. Awesome.
We're live. Okay, let me just tell you this. First of all, we know that you're a Korean culture inspired beauty guru and K-beauty enthusiast, but you are so whip smart and amazing.
Thank you.
I was not familiar, but I was so excited to learn more about you. And when I tell you, I started binge watching all of your YouTube, like literally every single thing. I can't get enough of her.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bad Movies and The Beat. When I tell you, you are really, really on to something. And so I'm so excited, one, because you're going to share your makeup look with us and talk to us a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about everything horror, everything related to Halloween. And for those of you who are tuning in from around the world, because we know that this is a global thing, Halloween is something that we celebrate here in the United States. And it's a time to, I think its origins probably have something to do with something very spooky. Do you know about Halloween? Are you a big Halloween enthusiast?
So I think more so than Halloween specifically, I just like things that are kind of dark and ominous. And so I love the idea of, I guess, having a day specifically to celebrate the I don't know, like the scary side of things. I've always found very fascinating. So origins wise, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar.
I think it has something to do. Yeah, I think it had something to do with ghosts. And I remember reading something about it. Well, the thing is I'm always afraid of anything super dark. So I'm a scaredy cat. So I'm always afraid of things super dark. But I've always been so fascinated by, how, quite frankly, dark is what makes light, right? And so the juxtaposition of things kind of being gory and scary is why we can also celebrate the beauty in all of it. But what inspired your, kind of like fascination with things that are dark?
I don't know. I think it's I was about to immediately blame astrology because any personality trait at this point, I'm just like, well, I'm a Scorpio rising, Capricorn sun, and they're both very but no, I think it's a very innate thing. When I was growing up, I was really into just the odd, if that makes sense. And usually that kind of ends up being I was an art kid. I grew up really finding things like horror and psychological thriller really fascinating, and I think that's just something that I've gotten a bit more mature in my understanding of now that I'm older. But at the time, there was this kind of confused, seemingly baseless fascination with the kind of odd in the dark, and I think as I get older, I'm really antagonizing or scrutinizing what I get from it, even what do people get from it. And I think it's just fascinating. I think going back to what you were saying though, there is an element of every time I watch something that really unsettles me, for lack of a better word, I do find myself being in this sense of clarity. And so maybe that's it. I feel like I think more about why something like this was necessary to show on film through music or movies or what have you. And I think maybe that's why I'm always constantly figuring out like what can I get from this.
You know, I love what you said about like sometimes what may seem dark like creates this moment of reflection, and that comes through literally in all of your commentary. When I tell you, Kenny, I was binge watching, I was like, oh, what did she say about this? What did she say about this? Because it kind of it makes you challenge things, right? So it kind of creates this moment of challenging what you believe exists, or you know, I really appreciate that. That's good.
I actually filmed this like maybe 2 hours before this. I have a video coming up, which is one of my top horror movies ever. But I never like sat down and really discussed even by myself like what makes it like because it was a movie I had watched and I did not touch for years because it was too much. I was like, I can't watch this. This is a lot.
Are you gonna give me a little hint about which movie this is? Come on.
Okay,
Come on.
the movie is called I Saw the Devil. It's a Korean film, 2010. It actually, what got me wanting to make a video on it is because I made a video on Squid Game, and a lot of people, you know, are very enamored with Squid Game. And one of the cameo characters is actually the lead in this movie, and it reminded me of that movie. And I was like, I gotta talk about it. It's incredible, and it's a lot though. And so the first time I watched it blind, and then I just couldn't touch it for years. I was like, and I would tell people how good of a movie it is, but I just could not.
But you couldn't go back to
I
it.
could not watch it again. And then maybe about a year or so ago, I just said, I'm going to watch it again because it is a good movie. It's a very good movie. And now in a weird way, because I kind of know how it, like I know what's going to happen. So it's not that like edge of your seat feeling anymore. I can really enjoy all of the elements of it now. It's actually weirdly funny, which is a thing that I didn't notice the first time, which is also very common in horror movies.
But you know, I think that that's the case for a lot of movies. Like,
yeah.
I'm like I told you, Kenny, I'm not the biggest horror fan. Like, I literally scream. You don't want to go to a movie theater with me. I will embarrass the living daylights out of you. But
That's the best type though.
Really, you think so? I'm like, I don't know.
I love it. It's 2 shows at a time.
I literally am like jumping all over the place. But I think that you get the best out of a movie when you watch it a second time. So I love the thought of like, you know, you watch the movie for Halloween and then you go back and watch it again. But before we get into all this talk about Halloween, because there's so many questions that I want to ask you, this is really exciting for me because with most of the Contours and Conversations that we host, I've known everyone. And so this is my first time really getting to know you.
Awesome.
And so I'm really grateful for that. But tell us about this makeup look that you're wearing. I will say that I used this palette today for my makeup look. Did you use the same one?
Yes. Actually I did two looks because I did one earlier when I was filming, and then I was like, that's probably a little OD for what's going on right now, but focusing mostly on these two for the highlight on inner corner and on overall neutral, and then going a little bit of this like brown orange terracotta, just slightly.
Oh, good.
And then just a little bit of lip liner and the lipstick in shade Untold Stories, which I'm venturing out into.
That's what I'm wearing.
Is it? Oh,
yeah, I'm wearing that same one.
Because I'm always afraid as a melanated person. Like when we start getting
like, I got the melanin.
I'm like, when we start getting into nudes, I'm like, oh, that. But this is like a really good in between nude, and so I think you know, a little brown liner or just even by itself is really top.
It's really pretty on you.
Thank you.
Did you put a gloss on top of it as well?
I did, just a clear gloss on top, a little bit of brown liner around the sides, and yeah, that's virtually it. Wanted to keep it simple, didn't want to distract because I have a tendency to go a little much.
I thought I was like, what is she gonna like? I didn't know whether or not you were gonna come in and have like a full makeup Halloween beat or not.
If I would have known, I should have. I should have considered that. I would have came in like full like witch gear, but yeah. So I really I was considering. Okay, on screen it's probably not the best time to do it, but I wanted to go a little bit more intense on here. And since I'm
I
always
feel like I should be joining you.
since I'm
I'm like,
already
let
sorry.
but I have these
There we go.
nails, so it's like always a little bit hard.
So I
Wait,
was also
actually,
gonna
maybe
do
I'll just add this little bit as a highlighter right here.
it's see, I was like, I wonder because I was a little concerned. I was like, oh, will that be a little bit too dark on me? But this is such a really pretty shade,
No,
actually.
it's pretty. It
It's
looks gorgeous.
I was like, usually I'm like, oh, it needs to be lighter than that, but actually it's actually a really pretty shade. I maybe might start getting ones more this tone because it's not ashy. I didn't realize how often my highlight might be a little bit ashy, so maybe I had to go. So that's great.
Well, you're not giving any of that today. You're giving glorious glow. But let me ask you this: could you transform this into a Halloween look? Like, if you were to do something, like, could you make something? Yeah, like, I don't know. What could you do?
So I'm looking at this like sparkly black right here, which is exciting.
It's good. Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me see what I got in here.
Because I'm thinking like you could probably like either, I don't want to say tears, but I'm kind of seeing some like even with like eyeliner and pencil, you could probably do. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
I feel like okay. So I have the pencil in sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think whenever I think of Halloween, I think of just like dark and ominous and sharp colors for some reason, or sharp for some reason. So I'll just go in here with sapphire real quick. And going under a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe smoking.
That's so pretty.
It is. It's just a little bit shimmery.
Yeah.
But not too much that I feel like you couldn't wear it in a non-Halloween related activity. So let's see. And then maybe another liner. This one's a liquid liner. And I'm gonna kind of thicken up this line a little bit.
Ooh.
And then what I'll probably end up doing is just using the blue and the black here to kind of like smoke that out.
Smoke it out. Yeah.
Good thing though, my job is to kind of rattle on and do my makeup at the same time. So
I don't know how, first of all, so let's talk about that too, because I think that was the other thing that I was completely fascinated with. I love that. I love a thick liner. But I was like, you're literally talking and doing your makeup and looking at the screen all at the same time. I was like, you talk about talent. Kenny's got talent.
It's funny because in no other context can I really walk and chew gum at the same time. But largely it's just because I'll be honest with you. Most of the makeup is such an afterthought. I think that's partially why, because it's a lot more of me just going in and being like, this feels right. But I don't, much more of the work that goes into actual video construction has to do with the actual movie itself. I do script work beforehand. That's actually the hardest part, is trying to read notes while doing your makeup at the same time is actually shockingly difficult. So what I end up doing is like writing out general bullet points. Sometimes I'll go, and do the majority of everything, and then.
So what's so funny? Everyone, your fans are in here just schooling me and making me very clear. She's a singer. She's a painter. She draws. Like, they're making it super clear. And she loves horror films. And so, like, and she's the queen. She's the plug for all things. People are going crazy. I love it. So I
love my viewers. They're so funny. Like, just like, as a side note, I think one of the things that makes the like YouTube experience so much fun is the commentary that you get, not from me, but from like the audience. It's just a good, oddly calm place, despite like the subject matter we end up talking about largely.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's great. And
But I think that's also because you do it on your own terms and you're really using like all of you to come to to the table. People like, Ty, you're beautiful. Fix your inner lash. I don't know if I can fix that right now. I'm not Kenny, so that's not going to be my strong suit. Kenny can do all of that. But Kenny, so you're a Capricorn?
I am.
So me too. I thought you said Scorpio. I'm a Cap too.
Scorpio rising. So I blame everything on that. Mostly. So
when's your birthday?
I am January 9th, 1995.
I'm not giving my year, darling. That we're not going to do here today. I am January 7th.
Awesome. January.
Yeah, I'm
our best. I'm not.
January 7th. I think I'm a Scorpio rising too. I don't remember my charts all the time, but I'll go back and look at that because Kenny said. So Kenny, let's talk Halloween. And I hope everyone is getting ideas from Kenny as she talks to me, does her makeup, does all the things with all the Revlon palette, sing, draw, dance, all at the same time. But so tell me, what's your favorite Halloween costume that you ever wore?
I was a banana. I was a sexy banana. Halloween.
How can you be sexy and a banana? Tell me that.
It's just a banana wearing boots. My friend, I was so disappointed because my friend convinced me to like throw away. Well, she didn't convince me, but she was like, "Can we pick this on like not the most public day that people see you?" I was like, "But I'm a banana and I want to be."
I can't even go into all of the thoughts that I have, like seeing a banana in boots.
Yeah, I think it was leather boots. They were black. I don't remember if they were leather or not, but yeah, it was hot.
So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you. You have to post a picture of that in your stories and tag Revlon and me.
Unfortunately,
so that
there's no photos, but there is a video. I can go look.
Please do share. I think my favorite Halloween costume, actually, I posted on my page today when I was sharing that we were doing this, and I'll post in stories as well, I was like this warrior princess queen, and I literally had like an axe, a knife. It was all this amazing dread hair. So that was my favorite.
Oh, that's great. I should do that.
Yeah, I think
I'm also very tall, so I feel like
me too. How tall are you?
6 foot.
I'm 5'11" and 3/4.
Essentially the same because I'm actually 5'11" and like 5'6". Okay, so team then. Capricorn, tall, black women. There you go. Love it.
No, I love it.
Power lies.
I'm back. That was a call coming in that I just had to deny very quickly. So we know that you like scary movies. What's your absolute favorite scary movie of all time?
Oh, no. Can I say a few, like top 3?
Okay, give me the top 2 or 3.
Okay. So
and you have to tell me why. You have to tell me why.
Okay. I Saw the Devil is what I was referring to before. That's definitely in the top 3.
Okay.
I like that because how do I answer this quickly? Like it gets us to question when we've gone too far. I think that's vague enough as because it's a revenge film. So it's a man going after the man that killed his wife. And it's a lot, but it's very, very good. So if you think you can stomach it, people in the comments, I would highly recommend it, but it is not the easiest watch in the world. I'll just say that.
I Saw the Devil. Okay.
I Saw the Devil. I think the director is Kim June. Yeah. Then probably Midsommar, Ari Aster. It's a movie about it's about a lot of things, but particularly a woman who just suffered a tragedy, ends up going to like a Swedish commune, and ends up being indoctrinated into a cult. It's a very good movie. Highly recommend it. Third.
My goodness.
Third.
You know what I love though already though, Kenny? I love that there are these deep storylines, like these incredible storylines, right?
Like, there's a lot of horror out there that's just kind of like slapstick comedy, which is fun sometimes. I just watched Llamageddon, about a murderous llama coming from outer space. They're out there. They're just doing stuff sometimes. But generally, I do prefer like the movies that kind of ask a lot of the audience after watching something like a horror movie. I think those would be my top two, because those are the ones that are coming to mind in the horror genre specifically, that I'm like, ooh, I want to show everybody if they can. Again, they're not the easiest movie. Well, Midsommar, I think more people would be able to stomach, but they're not necessarily the easiest movies to watch. But they're good.
Okay, so can I ask, what is your trick for watching the films that you classify as not easy to watch? Like, how do you, like, is there something that, like, someone like me who is literally scared out of my skin with anticipation of anything, like how would you advise me to watch a scary movie?
I think for me, when I watch a scary movie, I think what helps me not, like, I don't suffer from like people like constantly being like, oh my God, I'm gonna have nightmares. Like, I don't have that issue. But what kind of happens is I watch it and I'm like, I kind of start to pick it apart almost. Because once I can kind of make sense of what I'm supposed to get from this, it makes it less scary. It makes it actually quite exciting even to watch.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole narrative that was built for me to not just enjoy, but to really take something from. So once I kind of put aside the gore, for instance, and some movies don't have more. Some people are just like, do you want to see something gross? Like
something, yeah, exactly.
Generally speaking, the movies that really end up being like good horror movies, Rosemary's Baby, that's the third one. I was like, that
oh, okay,
that's a good one. So, like, that goes in there. Those movies end up kind of, again, asking more of me as an audience participant. So I almost feel like, in a weird way, it's like a duty. It's like, I need to know, like, what do you want from me?
Can I tell you though, I'm more obsessed with you than I was even just binge watching all your videos. Now that I'm having this conversation, we're contouring and conversing at the same time. But it's because, you know, I think that's the other thing. Sometimes we look at film, and you do this obviously constantly, but sometimes we look at film or entertainment as a way to escape, and it's escapism. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, I think there's an intellectual proposition, right? That we have to experience. And that's what you're challenging us to do. And that's what you're teaching us to do as you dissect the films that you do.
And also, to some degree, I have to recognize that I found myself becoming this person more and more the more I make videos about movies. I find myself being a bit of like a bad movie apologist to some degree. And so I'm like, but is it really a bad, like, I'm becoming, what is it, like, be a hero, live long enough to become a villain or whatever. So I feel myself at moments solely being like, but actually, it wasn't. Yeah. I think. Yeah. So, like, in the process of doing that, there is like a element of really asking myself, like, what is a bad movie even? Like, what do I qualify as a fundamentally awful movie? And I think recently I've just kind of discovered that there tends to be like a general sinisterness, I think, about poorly constructed arguments in movies and stuff like that. And that I'm starting to realize is more where my thoughts are going, whether I qualify something as good or bad when it's related to film. So yeah, it's been an interesting, like, uncovering that kind of, because before I was just like, oh, this is boring, but it's like, no, it's not just boring. Because maybe I mean, it's still a story being told. Maybe you don't like the story, but it's still a story being, and that speaks to the fact that everyone's story is worth telling. There's always a story worth telling. I think also, like,
that's part of the expression, even with makeup, right? And
Mm,
like how we shore with our contours, and it's a conversation piece, but it's our stories, like
mm,
an expression, an extension of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, like, and how we bring that to life. And that's why we can do it in different ways each day, right? It's not
mm,
like it has to look the same. So I love that that idea that every story is worth telling and it's
mm.
not bad. That's
Yeah.
you are listen, you are bad. You are bad.
Thank you.
You are bad. I'm here for all of it.
And
I
I'm not,
want to have the audience, I see a couple questions. If you have a question, type it in, because we only have Kenny for 4 more minutes. But um, do you have a favorite Halloween memory from growing up?
um, I wasn't, I was a very boring child, so I didn't often do much on Halloween. More so what we would kind of do is just generally fall activities, and then uh Halloween I'd just kind of get dressed up and go to like apple orchards and stuff like that as a small child. Um,
Yeah, you're like, it
but
was very like, and so now that's why you dress up as a sexy banana. Now we get it.
I think so. There's a rebellious side to it. It's like,
Yeah.
I've done it. Now I can be a sexy banana, you know? I didn't live out my childhood. Let me be a banana. I've actually considered just getting like a full length Care Bear thing for this Halloween. We'll see. I don't have much time. I should order that. But
I was
uh,
gonna ask, what are you doing this Halloween? What are you gonna do?
it was literally just gonna be me in a dress I would have worn anyway and put some ears on and call it a day. But that's what I mean. I need, as despite doing a lot of artistic things, I don't have much creativity by way of Halloween, and so that's one thing maybe I should go forth in the coming years. It's like I want to do cool stuff because there's some really cool outfits that people
I'm
do.
gonna send you the one that, like, if you go to my page
Mm.
and you scroll, one year I was Janet Jackson, because I've been told all my life I look like a Jackson.
I was gonna say you. I see it. I think it's the bone
So
structure. Yeah.
thank you. I will say all of this is natural at this time, even though I might bring it back at some point. Who knows? As I get older, there's nothing against
There's
that
nothing
either.
wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that. Do what pleases you. But I was Janet Jackson. That was one of my favorite, because literally, I went to an event and people were like, "Janet, is that you?" I was like, first of all, I'm 6 feet tall, so
So
not quite
probably
the
not.
same. Not quite the same. But then the other year, when I was like, I called her Zaina. I was like this warrior queen princess, and I
Love it.
had these locks and this crazy bag. And so check those out, and maybe those will inspire you. I'm going to take one question from the audience. There were so many questions here. Um, let's see. Well, there are a lot of comments too. Okay. I don't want to ask that one, because I think Kenny she talked about like not really seeing any movie as a bad movie because there are stories to tell. Yeah. What does confidence mean in your opinion? I think is a great question.
Ooh.
How do you define confidence, and what does that mean to you?
I'm stuttering because I feel like every time I'm asked this question, depending on where I am in life, like my answer kind of changes. Uh,
Mm,
I think confidence is um, a daily affirmation of your self-worth.
Oh, I love that.
It's not
I love
necessarily
that.
that you're like perpetually confident, that you always feel
Yeah.
great, that you always feel beautiful, what have you. But it's a reminder to yourself that you are worthy and capable of anything that you believe you are worthy and capable of. Um, and I think that is what gives us, or not gives us confidence, but reminds us that we have an innate ability to be confident, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. It makes so much sense to me. I actually talk a lot about this on my page, about like self-worth and how we develop that and build that. And also, like, confidence is the journey, right? It's the
Absolutely.
experience, because like you said, it looks different every single day depending on what you're going out into the world to do, and what you feel like you need. I
Mhm.
think I posted something today around you know uh, please please yourself first.
Mm.
Like, first please yourself. And that actually is like the seed of confidence. Like, you
Absolutely.
know, please yourself first. Kenny, you were fantastic. I just loved every single moment.
Thank you. I
This was so
appreciate
great.
it. Thank you so much for
No,
having me.
you are a complete rock star. You have a new friend and fan all in one. You have a Fran in Taibeau shop in Taibeau shop. And I just want to thank you all for joining us for episode 3 of Contours and Conversations. I am your host, Taibeau Champ. We come back here every single month and have amazing conversations with people that you want to hear from about everything. Whether or not it's about Black history or Black entrepreneurship or, Latinx history and Hispanic month. This is where you want to be. So make sure you're following Revlon. Make sure you're following Kenny JD here and on YouTube and everywhere else. And you can follow me. I'm Taibeau, Taibeau. And on behalf of Revlon, continue to contour and have amazing conversations. Boom. All right, Kenny. Thank you so much, my love.
Thank you.
This was fun. I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Bye.
All right. Ciao. Bye. All right, guys, I'm headed out now that Kenny's out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really grateful. Be sure to follow Kenny. Be sure to stay peeled here at Revlon and also follow me at Taibeau. Send you all the best for a happy, spooky Halloween, right? Okay.